Assalamu alaikum, guys. Welcome to Freshly Grounded, episode 392 or 92 or 93, something like that. Listen, we are in just a few short weeks' time going to be doing a live show in the city of London, inshallah. We're going to be doing a live show at the Shaw Theatre. We're very, very excited. There's going to be lots of surprises, special guests, great talks, inspiration, humor, games, audience interaction, the lot. Not often do we get a chance to go out to a theatre and be halal entertained, and in a way where, you know, we're also like, we enjoy it and it's not, kiddie or childish either. Like, you know, this event is 16 plus. It's for a reason. It's because we want to ensure that, you know, adult Muslims can go out and just like be respected and have a fun, you know, but it's all like, they can go out without the kids and things like that, you know. So with all that being said, it's on Sunday, 10th of August. It's in the Shaw Theatre. It's in London, and you can grab your tickets at fg.live. That's the URL. It will take you to the Shaw Theatre website, and we would love for you to be there. There's only 400. It's episode 400, and there's only 400 tickets available, roughly, maybe like 410 or something like that. And so once they're gone, they're gone. That's how things work.
That's exactly how tickets work.
Yeah.
I've looked into this.
Yeah. So based on both Kaya's research and my practical knowledge, we know that once they're gone, they're gone. So do check them out, FG.live. Also, guys, if you enjoy Freshly Grounded, which I hope you do if you're watching this, then you can actually get more Freshly Grounded. What? That's true. By going to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/Freshly Grounded. What you get on Patreon is you get an extra weekly show that's hosted by Suleiman and Johan. And they just have a natter, they have a laugh, they talk reminders, they talk a bit of this, a bit of that. But it's really nice. It's really fun. I've enjoyed listening to that episode as well. And that is that show is called Studio B, and it's actually on our Studio B. What you're looking at right now is Studio A. And we have a Studio B, which is on the other side of this room. You can get that every week on patreon.com/freshlygrounded. You also get access to a community, which is a segregated online community. And you also get access to, what else you get, Ibrahim, on Patreon?
Well, there's going to potentially be more content on there, different types of content, which we are in the works of getting done now. And so stay tuned for that. But you only know that if you join the Patreon. So
of course. And you can get 90% off your first month.
Right, definitely.
I can't remember how.
So essentially, keep an eye out on our Instagram, because we constantly post stories and posts of the clips from the Patreon show that Suleiman's in. And we essentially, in the captions, we will tell you a specific word to comment or reply to us in the stories, and we will send you the link to get that 90% off of your first month. Yeah,
so you get your first month for like 50p. But if you just think, you know what, I'm just going to support, it's only a $5, then just go over to patreon.com/freshlygrounded and just pay the full $5. We'll see you guys, inshallah, next week.
Enjoy the pod.
And remember, remove to improve.
Absolutely.
All right.
Assalamu
alaikum, bro.
alaikum. How are you?
Don't ask.
Yeah. You're right. I know you're a little bit under the weather. Let's put it that way.
A little bit. It's the worst. It's the worst in the first thing in the morning because you wake up with a sandy throat.
Yeah.
Like a sandpaper throat.
I've noticed you use that twice now, sandy throat.
Yeah.
And I've never heard that phrase before.
Yeah, I don't think it's real. What I mean is it feels like sandpaper.
Yeah.
Or like you got a golf ball in there.
Okay.
Obviously, it's hard for me to distinguish between the two because I've got a massive Adam's apple. It's sometimes like, I've got to go for it. Oh, no, it's just me being a man. But to like the last few days, it's more so the throat, but which I'm grateful for because that's not really the worst of it. But it's like now, like, you know,
when I get ill,
it's just a bit man flu.
The worst thing for me is the fatigue. If I haven't got fatigue, I consider it to be like a win.
Yeah, I don't have that much. Like, I've been able to come in and find and stuff like that, but. Today I'm just in for the episode that I'm leaving. I'm not trying to like get
what's your hacks when you're ill?
Hacks, green tea.
Okay.
Just soothe the throat first thing in the morning, and I just like throughout the day I have green tea, and then just a lot of complaining.
Yeah,
you know?
I find that helps a lot.
Yeah, a lot of like
the more you complain, the better you feel.
Woe is me.
Yeah.
I need to look. You know, when I was little, if you were ill, you would want to go to. We would want to go to our nan's house because she's really empathetic and and she's just like babies you and she's like she'll give you just go to the house, you just sit on the sofa and bro, she's making you soups. She's like, you know, to the point where she's like putting the blanket over you and tucking you in, and putting the pillow behind your head, and just what nans should do, right? And so I missed that part of my childhood. It's like you're ill, you just take me to nan's, and I'll be fine.
It's so interesting that when you I know it's a man thing. When you are ill, when one is ill, you do feel like you want to cuddle someone. You know what I mean? A family member.
You've
Obviously.
now said that live on the podcast.
But it's like your family.
sure.
Obviously.
Yeah,
It's
of
like
course.
your family.
Yeah.
But,
Natural, bro.
but what is that? Because I'm ill. Why do I feel the urge to cuddle a family member now? Like I don't usually have that urge, outside of like fatherly love.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Why do I suddenly like have the urge like, oh, let me have a quick cuddle with you just because I'm very ill?
Your natural tendencies are coming out, Kai, because
Guess so.
you're so emotionless
Is
outside
that,
of being
is that
ill.
just me though? I've heard it's a man flu thing. It's like, oh, they want to be babied, they want to be cuddled a little bit, or like whatever.
Yeah, maybe
I guess physical touch is maybe what I'm getting at rather than.
Yeah, I
cuddling.
think that could potentially we've just discovered your love language.
Wow.
What do you think your love language is?
I have to pause this whole podcast now.
Yeah.
No. I think it's acts of service.
Yeah, I would guess that as well. Yeah.
I think acts of service.
Yeah.
What about yours?
You're always brilliant. You always just push, telling me, go over here, go over there. I'm joking.
What's yours? Yours is acts of service as well, and
No, it's not acts
words
of
of affirmation.
Words of affirmation.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, this podcast going really well, by the way.
Yeah. And I think like we posted a clip recently on TikTok, and it was a clip where me and you were talking on the podcast, and I said, authenticity or lack of it, like eventually gets found out because it kind of reeks. Like if someone's not being authentic, you can kind of sense it. You can sniff it out, is what I was saying.
Yep.
And there was one comment on that TikTok, and someone goes, yeah, and you reek of it 100%.
No. What's wrong with people, man?
So
We always get a weird comment like
hard,
that every now and again.
But one thing I was to actually get into the pod. One of the rhetorics that I often like to speak about is about balance and about how I'm always amazed at how Islam is so balanced, right? And it's like just one of my favorite things in the world. And often I give the example of like izzah versus arrogance, because it's interesting to me that how beautiful Islam is that having izzah and haiba, i.e. Having a presence, having respect, being respected, walking around like not like a loser, basically. All of that stuff is a good thing. Izzah, haiba, yeah. But equally, having even an atom's weight of arrogance is impermissible. It's not allowed.
Yeah.
And look how balanced and beautiful the religion is, bro. It's like it protects a person's respect and honor by saying like izzah is a good thing, but then it also protects you from in any way having ego because arrogance is a bad thing, right? And you have to, but the line between them is so thin, right? You could like very easily cross over. So the question I had for you is, how do you balance, or how does a person balance, do you think, the idea of like when you're in, for example, a job, and you feel like, let's use the example of a job actually, you're in a job and you feel like you're not getting valued enough. And I think there is a lot of benefit as a man, especially about having this like energy, which is a bit like, how do I say it in a clean way? Like this energy which is like, I'm great at what I do.
Got that dog in him.
Kind of,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's beneficial energy to have because it allows you to execute. It allows you to like take action. It allows you to have that confidence, bro. How does one balance that with not falling into ego? And an example where that could be a use case could be if somebody is like, for example, in a job and they want to get a promotion, there's a promotion available, and they in their head they're like, I know I'm the man for this thing, and I could kill it here. How do they balance that energy versus making sure that, because when you say I'm the man and I can kill it and I'm the greatest at what I'm doing, because I genuinely believe I'm the best at this role, that also kind of seeps into ego, right? How does a person get that balance, do you think?
Firstly, I'm the wrong person to ask. This is like an Islamic question, I think, but
I guess I'm asking more from a personality.
So the hadith about I'm translating the meaning of it, obviously. Allah is beautiful and He loves beauty comes to mind, where one of the companions asked the Prophet ﷺ about is wearing like beautiful clothes a form of arrogance, right? And it's not basically. You can wear.
One could interpret it as a form of arrogance.
Yeah, but if you're wearing beautiful clothes, for example, it's not necessarily arrogant, right? You can do that, and that's fine. So kind of based on that, if you're going to do something that will make you feel confident. And it could, and again, clothing could be a car. Some people like have got, they really feel like if not driving a car they're really proud of, they can't turn up to work and feel like they're the man type of thing. you have to sort of figure out your personality and figure out what that thing is. It could be your cologne you're wearing, could be the clothes, could be the car, could be how you're grooming yourself, could be the shoes you're wearing. Some people shoes play a big role for them. Find out what it is.
So it's contextual, basically.
Yeah,
so everything has context.
Yeah, find out what that thing is, and do that thing. Even if by itself that could actually lead you to some arrogance, I think there's nothing wrong with taking that step and then saying, "Cool, I'm not going to be arrogant with it though. I'm going to use it for my benefit, to be confident, to feel like I deserve to be here." But then you put a cap on whatever that is. I'm not going to use my car to be arrogant and look down on people. I'm not going to use my clothes to do that. My perfume may be 200, 300 pounds. I'm not going to mention that all the time in the office and say, So I think taking those steps to feel a certain way is fine, but as long as you're controlling it internally.
Yeah. And it goes back to the discussion we had a few weeks ago where we were saying that something a deed can be halal for one person and haram for another person, and it could be the same deed, but the context is what makes it halal or haram. Context being why you're doing it, your intentions behind it, in what situation you're doing that deed, and stuff like that. And so that's, I guess, like goes back to my original point, which is like why I love Islam so much, because you just can't catch Islam out. Because you could look at it and say, oh, I thought you weren't allowed to be arrogant, but why are you wearing those designer clothes? But it's like, again, Islam is so fair and just, you can't catch it out because it's not a gotcha thing.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're willing to be sincere and look at each individual matter in the correct context, then you can always come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
And whereas like in life, normally what we do as flawed human beings is we only ever read or tell ourselves or tell other people one side of the story. But if all context was given, often people could understand your situation, right? Whereas Islam always allows full understanding of context because it's perfect, right?
Exactly. You said sincerity there. So that if you have ikhlas when you're doing anything you do, you don't really have to worry about like someone coming along and saying, "Oh, I thought you weren't allowed to, be arrogant." Because like, no, that's not why I did that. You know what I mean? Yeah. For you, that might be something that, you bought that really nice car to be arrogant. That wasn't my intention to do that. I love cars. I've been looking at this car for ages, and or I bought that watch because whatever. I just love watches, but I'm not here to be arrogant with it. It's not something that I feel inside me. But if you've got ikhlas, that kind of thing, then there's nothing to worry about. Kind of like, if you're always telling the truth, you've got no reason to like keep track of everything, right?
Yeah.
It's only if you're lying or you have to like keep track of all the spider web of lies. If you're being sincere with all your actions, then inshallah that shouldn't translate into arrogance anyway.
Yeah.
You've got to catch yourself when you do feel like, oh, if I went out to the office tomorrow, I'll get some looks and I'll turn heads, and that's when you got to say, no, that's now my ikhlas going out the window. I've got to reel that back in. But yeah, these like you said, bro, Islam is perfect, and it's up to us to sort of constrain ourselves.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I saw that you have, it looks like you have a whole ENAT doc.
No, this is a ChatGPT reply.
Oh, okay.
I asked it for some recent news we could discuss.
Oh, okay.
Should I skim it?
Yeah, tell us what it said.
Oh, interestingly, sick leave misuse caught on camera. So this is from...
on the topic of... Oh, bro, I can tell you a bit more about the talk if you want.
Yeah.
Remember last week we discussed that I'm doing that talk. So last week we discussed that I'm going to be doing a talk in Malaysia next week, and the topic that I was given was intentions over impressions. It was called intentions over impressions, and something about creating content. Like when you're creating content, essentially the idea of like being ethical when creating content, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Rings a bell.
Yeah. It was, I'll find the actual title was Intentions Over Impressions, creating without losing yourself.
That colon, man, is so important.
But it's very important.
Yeah, very coloning.
Yeah. I remember when I first found out like the use case of a semicolon when I was in like high school or something, and I would use it all the time.
You know what I used to use all the time and now I can't use it? What? The M dash.
Why can't? Oh yeah.
ChatGPT's ruined it.
Yeah.
Bro, I used to love the M dash. That used to be my thing.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone says that now, but I really did used to use it a lot.
Yeah, I never used it because I didn't know how to approach. I didn't know how to get it on the keyboard.
I've got proof because Google Docs. If I go back to like 2022, all over the place, mate.
Really,
dashes everywhere.
Yeah, that's how people
dashing it about.
That's how people semicolons.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. That M dash is better though.
It is, yeah.
That's why ChatGPT uses it.
Semicolons and vis-a-vis.
I didn't use that.
You never used vis-a-vis?
Nah, I wasn't that far gone.
Vis-a-vis. You know Shahid,
Yeah.
who is the first person that brought us out to Dubai. He always makes a joke with me because he like in the inbox, in the email message that we went back and forth, I said vis-a-vis.
Okay. No, you should never use it in like a casual context.
Yeah, I know. I think at that point I'd like.
But I'm interested. What was the sentence?
I think at that point I had recently learnt the word. I learned it at uni, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know, like.
Have you heard of the word ergo?
No.
It's like you use it in the same kind of context as vis-a-vis.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, we're. I don't know actually context here. Yeah, Faisal's feeling a bit unwell. Ergo, the green tea. Something like that.
I don't understand that at all.
It's like therefore. I think. Let me double check that because I'm doubting myself. But I'm pretty sure.
Do you remember when therefore? That in uni you could. Did you ever learn like how to write notes in uni, and therefore you do the 3 dots?
I went to uni.
Oh yeah.
No, I dropped out after 3 months.
But do you remember how the
dropped out vis-a-vis the dropout system? Go on then. I'll try to remember this.
I'm trying to find the password.
Yeah, ergo is a formal version of therefore, hence, consequently.
Okay. Do you remember? Did you know that you can write therefore as 3 dots?
No.
Yeah. So in uni they taught us how to write notes, and like when you're fast, like writing notes. Oh. And so you write the 3 dots, the triangle, and that means visa. That means not vis-a-vis. That means therefore.
It means ergo, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's different opinion on this matter.
No.
I'm just seeing if I can find the first ever email that we
funny,
had.
Man. Because I wonder what context you used it in.
Yeah.
What could you even say? He's arranging like what pick up the airport or something like that. Like,
yeah, vis-a-vis the airport.
Yeah. The arrivals lounge.
Yeah. I learned at uni from like my housemate, and I was like, well, that's quite cool. So I used it in my lectures.
Vis-a-vis. Yeah, that's fair. You can use it in like a formal educational context.
Yeah, but he still picks on me for it. He's like, you said vis-a-vis in your email. He goes, I found it hilarious.
That's funny, man.
Vis-a-vis.
Yeah,
I think I even used it with the correct. Like he has a.
You got a little accent
on top
no
of one
way.
Of it. Yeah, I think I did that.
Oh, bro, I would have just like, I would have sent your email to trash.
Yeah. Your flight to Dubai has been cancelled now. Yeah.
Instant spam.
Yeah. It's got accent on the A, bro.
Bro, that's mad.
It looks like this. It means with regard to.
Yeah. But you actually copied that whole thing like that.
I think I not copy, bro. I think I was a master at it. So I was like,
you used the accent on the keyboard.
I knew how to do accents on the keyboard like that.
Wow. Sometimes I use those comedically.
Yeah, I can't find this email. I wonder. That's weird, isn't it? Because we were.
Well, how long? That's like what, 8 years ago?
Yeah.
7 years ago?
Yeah, but emails don't have a shelf life.
They don't do that actually.
No,
Unless you change your email.
Yeah. Maybe he would have emailed you the hello. But anyway, yeah. Okay, so what did you say? There's sick leave.
Yeah, so interestingly, ChatGPT, listening, I asked it like recent. Oh no, see, I asked it about ergo and now I've lost it. See? This is why. Okay, here we go.
We're not doing justice to the person who commented last week saying, I like these guys that talking, but they really have boring conversations.
Yeah, well, get used to it. All right, sick leave misuse caught on camera, yeah?
Yep.
An employee in Bangalore took a sick Friday off. Oh. Don't get any ideas, Suleiman, yeah? To relax in some city. But a viral vacation video exposed him. His boss spotted him dancing in the footage, leading to a loss of trust and a cautionary tale of trust. Okay, that I wouldn't say call that news, but what do you think of that? If you caught one of your loyal worksmen...
Yeah. They would never do that.
They wouldn't do that.
They would never do that.
And I'm not going to say one of these guys, so they wouldn't do that. But let's say you hire somebody else.
Yeah.
And they did say to you, bro, like Friday, I've got this doctor's appointment. I'm going to have to make it. But then you actually saw them like, whatever, chilling down at the beach, something like that. What would be your immediate reaction to that? And bear in mind, eye contact has been made at this point.
Yeah, I'd probably speak to him and just say like, what happened? I'd ask for an explanation first.
Yeah.
And then I would fire them. No, I remember on the Friday thing, at first I thought, oh, Bangalore Friday, maybe he's a Muslim and he's trying to like leave for Jumu'ah.
Dancing down.
And then you said dancing, and can't make any more excuses for him. But I remember when I was at Apple, I wanted Jumu'ah off. And so I spoke to my manager, just like I signed the contract. So I wasn't like deep into my stint there. I was like, it was quite early on, if not at the very beginning. I was like, look, I want to have Fridays off. And so they were like, oh, we've had this story, but this is like
Yeah.
almost viral
You
story.
got-
And then I got absolutely slated because I said the tax
The
thing.
taxes or not.
Yeah.
not
Gosh, I've run out of
taxes or not
stories,
taxing.
guys. I hate to quit podcasting now. I'm just regurgitating the same story.
No, go on, summarize that, 'cause it's a good story.
So the story is, I won't go into the tax benefits or
Yeah,
harms, but the story is,
Hey, Jamal, see you
the story,
calling us up.
the story is, I said to them on Fridays, I want to have Jummah, so can I just like use my lunch break or whatever to go to Jummah? They're like, look, we can't consistently like set your break at a certain time on Fridays. So what you're going to have to do is, if you want to, you can either every time try and find a swap of a shift, which is probably not realistic every week, or you just go to part-time and you work 4 days a week instead of 5 days a week, which obviously would be cut in pay. And I did move to part-time. And so then I would work 4 days a week instead of 5. And then I went to the mosque for Jummah.
Alhamdulillah, that's good.
I don't know why I was saying that story though now. I guess it reminded me of that.
Well, yeah, that's what that guy should have done. That's
Yeah, he
that's
should
the
be
moral
at
story.
Jummah,
He
yeah.
should have been at Jummah.
Yeah.
And then that would have been great.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Yeah. What else did they give you?
So a quick look here. So I asked it specifically, like, give me some recent news I can discuss on the podcast. It's just give me some random guy's sick leave story. Why are they all from India? They're all from India.
Maybe your ChatGPT set to India.
That would be weird.
Or it just
here
knows
we
how
go.
much
This is
biryani you
it.
eat.
The rise of micro efficiencies. People are increasingly obsessing over tiny productivity hacks like brewing 2 cups of tea at once or storing multiple glasses at hand. While such habits have save seconds, experts warn they may also mask burnout or anxiety. This kind of goes into what I was just saying about hacks when you're sick. Yeah. When you're sick, really, it shouldn't be any hacks. You should just rest as much as possible, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there is something in my brain that was like, oh, how can I like squeeze in half an hour of work throughout the day? It's probably not healthy though, is it?
Do you do any micro efficiency things?
I do, you know.
What do you do?
I'm trying to think, but so for example, I really obsess sometimes about planning my day around locations rather than like end result.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is, let's say I need a trim, which I needed to get and I didn't get. I will not prioritize who's the best barber. I'll prioritize who's on the way or who's next to the office or who's here. I try to optimize my life that way, whereas really I should be optimizing for best results.
That's not bad. That's not micro efficiency.
No, but that creeps
quite
into
macro.
everything. That creeps into everything. So like, how else can I explain that? That kind of thinking is like, I even like plan like,
Do you plan like if you need to go upstairs?
yeah, that kind of stuff.
Oh, really?
That stuff. So it's like, okay, if I'm going to go upstairs, I'll take two things in my hand and I've got to bring one thing down. So
Oh, really?
that kind of stuff.
I need to use the bathroom, but I do need to go upstairs in 10 minutes anyway.
Exactly.
So on my way
There you
upstairs, I won't go now.
That's
I'll go
it.
10 minutes.
That's kind of
and
thing.
then you're just
So,
dying
yeah, so
on the sofa like,
that's
why didn't I
Yeah.
go to the bathroom?
That's exactly the kind of thing. That's a great example.
it?
Exactly the kind of thing I would do. And in my head, I'll be like, bro, it's more efficient.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, it's not comfortable. Like
Yeah, that's quite bad.
So I do that kind of thing. And that's silly.
Yeah.
But brewing
I do the opposite. I'm like, oh, I need something right now, so I need it now. So I'll go
Yeah.
upstairs now, grab it, and then I come downstairs and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need the other thing. Now I'm going back upstairs. So I'm like, everything has to be now.
Yeah.
Which seeps into all of my personality, I think.
Yeah, I can be like that, but I'm definitely more like, let me just, what's the most optimal way to do this? And look, I'm the biggest procrastinator on earth. So why am I optimizing my life so much? Which is like, bro, stop procrastinating and do stuff. And then you won't have to optimize every second of your life to feel like you're getting stuff done.
Yeah.
Just do stuff. But I fall into that a lot, man. Over optimizing, over engineering small things.
Yeah.
I don't need to be over engineered.
That's interesting. I'm just trying to think if I definitely must do some micro efficient things.
I'm trying to think more examples. The one you just said about going to toilet and stuff, that's so true.
Is
That's
it?
100% I've done that.
Yeah.
Also,
I don't know, man. I put my socks on before I leave the house so I have wudu for the day, as in like so I can just do myself with my socks.
Fair.
Whereas in Dubai you kind of benefit from not wearing socks because it's just so hot. Like if you could just have no
Yeah.
socks and just put on some, Birkenstocks or Crocs or sliders or whatever your shoe of choice may be on that day. It sometimes, but then sometimes I'll even be in sliders, but I'll be wearing socks just because of the fact that it's more efficient for wudu, which I don't think that's a good thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing. That's
Yeah,
fair.
maybe,
The concession is there, isn't it? To what
The
happen with
concession
socks?
is there, yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of any more examples, man. But I think like with driving, for example, I definitely like, I'm literally cutting small corners to save time.
Is
Like,
it?
Literally cutting small corners.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let's say, so, when you're on a roundabout, for example,
Yeah.
and you're we have 2-lane roundabouts here. So if you're in the middle, if you're in the left one, you're supposed to go into the left lane of where you want to go to in front. But if they're not around me, I'm zooming across. I'm not really very good driver if they're not around me. I'm taking the most efficient route, not the safest and like most accepted route.
You know, are you one of those guys who, like, if you know, in the UK when you're getting off of an A road to go, and there's like a roundabout. So right now I'm thinking about the what's that road when you're going you're on the A40, you're going from like Hillingdon sides like towards Acton, and you go past the KFC. Hanger Lane, that's it. There's Hanger Lane roundabout.
You're quick.
My God.
Bro, don't test him on, bro. Man's been a chauffeur. Yeah. So when you get to the Hanger Lane, like slip road, to get off of the A road, everyone should be in one. Everyone who's getting off should basically be in one lane. But some people will, and so there's 3 lanes. One lane goes off the A road onto Hanger Lane roundabout, and the other 2 lanes go straight. But what a lot of people do is, because that's such a long queue, what a lot of people do is they go in the lane where you carry on going on the A40 and right until the very end, and then they slip in. And whenever I see them, I'm like, you're breaking the rules. You're not being a good person of society.
That's me. You'll see me doing that.
Really,
You'll scream at me and see me. No, but I'm not as bad as, you know, they come right at the end. I'll come in like in the middle.
I'm such a rule follower, bro.
Yeah, I'm not on the roads. I'm horrible, man.
Yeah, no, but it
nasty man.
But bro, it hasn't benefited me being rule follower.
And it hasn't benefited me being like, again, I'm saving maybe 20 seconds of my journey by doing this stuff. Really, I mean that one's a bit different. But in Dubai, it's just like literally I'm shaving off seconds here and there just to be a bit of a. You know.
Sometimes like my kids will be like, oh dad, like everyone's driving with the sand, why don't we drive on the sand and make it come? Like we can't do that.
It's against the rules.
Who raised you?
Okay, so there you go. Okay, so when I was dropping my daughter off to school beginning of the year, there was loads of traffic coming in. There's like 3 schools next to each other, but there was a empty plot of land essentially across the road from the school. Which in Dubai means just sand. Right?
Yeah, but what happened with that, by the way?
Now they're building on it,
okay.
So you can't access it. But before, so you know, literally opposite the school, there's a building site.
Wait, opposite the front of the school, or the back
of the school? Literally the front of it. That's where I was. So I would go round the back, skip all the traffic, and then like drive onto the sand right up to the road, and then again I'm crossing with my daughter, like dragging behind me, crossing the road, a place I shouldn't really be crossing it as well, going across. I wasn't the only one doing it, but that was definitely a me thing to do. Right? Just like
because there's so much traffic on the road, could you potentially put your electric scooter in the boot, park somewhere where there's no traffic, and just for that last like 10 minutes, just scoot with your daughter?
Do you put your children on the scooter?
I do, but I can't now. I can't with the school one because I've got 2 kids in school, so I can't put 2 kids on the scooter.
That's where I draw the line. My children's safety is where I draw the line, actually.
Yeah. No, but okay, let me give you some context, because like we said, context matters. I bought children's handlebars that I've attached onto the scooter, so they're holding onto handlebars, and they wear a helmet.
Okay, that's good. That's fine. Okay, I'll retract my statement.
Yeah. Okay. So you should. Yeah.
But no,
and they look really cute in a helmet. Actually, my kids. My kids look cute in a helmet.
That I wouldn't be against that, but in that location, it wouldn't have worked. But I wouldn't be against it. If there was like a dedicated scooter track and stuff like that, I would have done it.
Yeah, fine.
But because there's so much traffic, you have to. It was too start anyway.
Yeah. Also, where do you get dedicated scooter tracks?
Oh, you get them. Down at the old beach.
Oh, there's a DST in the old beach.
Goes down the whole. In fact, I was telling Ibrahim and Suleiman this the other day, Kite Beach. So from there, you can go. Okay, bro. Listen. No,
you told me this.
No.
You're gonna say the same thing.
I'm so glad you've brought up my scooter thing, right? I've said this. This is my 3rd time.
Every couple of months you tell me this.
Do I?
If you want to have a good evening, you want to chill one in the evening when the sun is set, go with the boys to Kite Beach, grab some scooters, ride along the DST, dedicated scooter tracks.
Thanks.
Well, that's word for word what he told me yesterday.
That's word for, and what I thought Ibrahim was. Do you want to play the voice note?
I was about to say that yesterday. He sent me a voice.
He's hit me with that. These are the last 3 years I've been listening to.
But have you done it yet?
No, I have not done it.
You ain't done it. So I don't think you should talk too much about it.
Yeah, you're right.
You have to listen to it even more then.
Yeah.
I should actually do it.
It's actually a very fun thing to do. And like, gone.
But I'm about to hit you with something else that's really cool to do.
Okay.
All right. The other day.
I like cool things.
Yeah, but this is sick. Okay. The other day, I went to a gym called Oxygen Gym.
Oh, did you now?
No, pretend like you don't know about it, okay?
Oh, sorry.
Pretend like you don't know about it.
Sorry.
Now, apparently it's one of the biggest gyms in the world.
I ain't been to it, but it looks amazing.
So this gym is men only, no music, and they even play the adhan at Salah time. And it's a luxury gym. Yeah. It's very expensive, I'm not gonna lie. And I didn't buy a membership, I went for a day pass. The day pass is £35 roughly.
That's not bad.
And it's in the UAE, by the way. So like those listening in the UK, if they're like trying to search oxygen gym and they end up somewhere like wild, like it's not the gym I do. So, okay, I'm going to tell you the story. So I went to this gym, and the end of the point is that I'll tell you the end now because you were talking about like a good thing to do with the mandem. I said to my brother like, bro, let's go together one day and just have a chill one because they've got a sauna, steam room, like pool, cold plunge. So even if you just don't fancy doing a workout, but you just want to go chill out, it's safe because there's no women, there's no music and stuff like that, but you can still go for a swim and you can go to the sauna and things like that. So that was my point of like a nice chill thing to do. So
good.
I think me and Omar are going to do that at some point. But anyway, I'll tell you my experience though in general.
tell me.
So you go to this gym, Oxygen Gym in Khawanij, a beautiful, massive gym, like 3 stories. And it's got so many pieces of equipment, bro, that you just don't even, like, there's a piece of equipment for every micro muscle that you have on your body, bro. It is incredible. So it will say like legs, and there's a whole section of leg machines, arms, a whole section of arm machines, like bicep, tricep, everything, bro, yeah? Back, chest, everything. And then downstairs is a CrossFit area, and then huge changing rooms. The showers are like the size of a studio flat.
Really?
Each individual showers. Showers are massive,
Yeah.
like rainfall showers. And they got a prayer room, like a proper, I don't even know, potentially it could fall under the ruling of a mosque,
Really?
what they have in there, because it's like mosque carpets. It's got everything that a mosque would have. It's just whether they pray the Jamaat 5 times a day and there's an imam and stuff like that, I don't know. But they've definitely got a very advanced prayer room, like they do with genuine UAE. So you could pray all your salah and Jamaat and all that kind of stuff. Pool, cold plunge, hot tub, all that kind of stuff. So the other day, it hit like 6:30 p.m. I put my little one to sleep, Laith, baby, and I was like, oh, I've got a whole evening now, and I want to do something chill. And then I just said to myself, do you know what? I'm gonna go have a nice evening at Oxygen Gym. So literally drove down, bro. I caught Maghrib. So it's right next to that big mosque, the purple mosque.
Yeah.
So I prayed in the mosque.
It's the Quranic park, isn't it?
That's correct.
Yeah.
It's next to the Quranic Park Mosque. So I prayed at that mosque, and it's walking distance, literally next door to is Oxygen. So I caught Maghrib, Jamaat in the masjid. Went in, paid 35 nuggets, changed rooms, beautiful, changed my clothes, went upstairs, had a lovely gym session, no music, just, bro, amazing, yeah? And like all the equipment that you could want. And then after that, I had a shower. I looked at the pool and the sauna and stuff, which was really nice, but I didn't use it that day. I had a shower, and then I caught Isha Jamaat in the gym, because the brothers were praying a Jamaat. Most people you see, like after they've had a shower and everything, they put their thobes on and then they go to the prayer room. So it's just so nice. I didn't miss any Jamaat as well. After that, what I did is the following. So the man is in the group chat. I never do this, bro. This is something that I think you do, and I really respect you for doing it, by the way. But I did it. I basically went on the group chat. I sent a 5-minute voice note to the brothers. There's a group chat for our community, and like the brothers from our community. And I
started to flip out.
yeah. I sent a voice note. I just said, brothers. I said, honestly, this is not normally my approach because, I like to do things like softly. But as Muslim men, and as Muslims in general, as young Muslims, we often complain, and we say, oh, if only there was a Muslim halal alternative to this, a halal alternative to that, and things like this. And then even if a halal alternative becomes available, there's always something we have to compromise on. For example, someone sets up a gym, but it's like, it's not got the equipment. So like it's like some like dead gym, bro, and things like that. I said, we have no excuse now. There's a gym that's got a sauna, prayer room, like everything, swimming, state-of-the-art equipment. Even non-Muslims love that gym, bro. Like, as in, it's not great just because of the fact that it's halal. It's like genuinely it's probably the best gym in the country anyway.
That world-famous bodybuilder was like loving it. And
Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
So it's genuinely phenomenal. So I said, we can't sit here and complain that, there's no Muslim alternative, there's halal alternative to this, halal alternative to that. And then when one comes about, because it's a half an hour drive, we're not on going there. I also said in the voice note, if the issue is price, fair enough. I can't argue that because it's like David Lloyd's pricing. It's very expensive and no one can afford that, bro. Even I haven't actually signed up to the gym yet. But I was saying, like, outside of that, and if that's an issue, fair enough. But if that's not an issue and then we can't sit here and go to free mixing gyms or gyms with music and things like that, and then complain and say, oh, the reason is because there's no alternatives, when the only difference is a half an hour drive. Now, okay, you're half an hour drive there, half an hour drive, that's 1 hour you lost out of your day. And then let's say you do 1 hour session, that's 2 hours gone. But most of us, bro, are not sleeping at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. And most of us are done with our work and with our families by 6 p.m., 7 p.m. And bro, most people only need to go to gym like 3 days a week. So you're saying 3 days a week, your evening, you've fulfilled your duties with your family and everything like that. It's now 7 p.m. You don't sleep till 11 anyway. So now you've got 4 hours. That's more than enough time to drive half an hour to the gym, do a gym session, and then drive half an hour back, and you still have not lost out on anything. And so my message to the brothers it was a bit of a harsh message, was like, we can't sit here and complain that there's no Muslim alternative to things, and then the Muslim alternative comes and we then don't even like use those services. And I said to them, I'm not speaking from my high horse because I haven't even signed up for it yet. It's a reminder for me as well. But this is one of those rare occasions where there is a Muslim alternative, and not only is it that there's a Muslim alternative, but it's a Muslim alternative to a really high degree. Like sometimes we talk about stuff that's why the other day I also, sorry bro, saw this thing online. It was a thing in Manchester. And it was like from what I can see, it was on social media, from what I can see, it's like run by Muslims, and it's like a lounge place,
Okay.
And there's no shisha. And bro, I really rated it. It had like the PS5, it had games and stuff like that. You can rent it out, and they got different types of rooms. And it's just like you can like rent it out with the brothers and just go chill, Because personally, you can see the appeal in brothers going. I don't want to say misquoted, so like there has to be context here, but like the appeal of brothers going for like out for shisha, in the sense that okay, you can all go out, you can sit around in a lounge, you can like and chill, and there's no like obligation to play a sport or do something. Like you just jam and chill with the brothers. Is there a Muslim? Is it halal alternative to that because of the impermissibility of shisha? And then, so when these brothers, for example, in Manchester have created this, that's a great thing. And they're probably, not in a rude way, but it's probably hard to manage that from a financial perspective, because like them things are probably not going to make mad money unless we actually go and support and turn up and go there. So it's like, all right, we're like, oh, there's not really an alternative to that kind of stuff. Well, now these brothers have gone out on a limb and created an alternative. Let's go and support it. And to its credit, I think I saw in their socials that Abu Taymiyyah went there and like they did a thing there and stuff like that. So like in general, it seems like, but yeah, like those things should be supported. But anyway, that's my rant about my experience at Oxygen Gym.
100%, bro.
I think if you listen to this and you catch me in a gym, make dua for me. I'm not trying. I'm not trying to speak for my house. And I do want to. Ideally, I should listen to my advice and actually go there right now and sign up. It's ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, I saw that the annual price was insane.
Yeah, but they do give discount of that price though, because when you go there, you can get a discounted price. But
I wonder if we go as
if you're investing for your
just demand free access.
I said that because when I went there, I said how much is an annual membership? They told me. I said if I buy 2 memberships, because I was thinking about Omar as well, then he said no, like this is already discounted. But with that being said, bro, I am very likely to sign up to it because I just think from the angle of you are spending that for the sake of Allah. Why else are you going to drive that much to go to the gym? But but to train in a place where there was no music was so refreshing. And then also, bro, you're just not seeing anything. Like you're not seeing like women in gym gear and things like that. It's like, I mean, to be fair, the gym that I go to right now is not mixed. Is a gym where they have a women's only section in the gym. So so because there's a women's only section, women will go train in the women's only section, obviously. So I don't currently go to a gym that's like completely like free mixed anyway. But I think this is probably the optimal space to train in.
The better version. Okay.
Or build a gym at your home, which I've also have built a gym in my garden. But then sometimes you're like, I'm gonna go and train.
4 degrees outside. Yeah. I sent.
No, I can carry on talking if you want.
Yeah, I was going to say, can I get a word in? I sent, because Suleiman's asking me as well about more men's gyms, and there are a few other options as well that are closer.
Makes sense,
they're not going to be the same level, and I've got no idea if the music thing is still an issue, but there are more. It's like Fitness Terminal, which is in Al Quds. Start Point.
There's one in Sharjah. I think in
Sharjah got a few of them.
Nasma something where it's no music and it's men's only as well. Actually,
and District. So I just did a few. So there's definitely 3 others that are
fine.
Within where you live. Like, wouldn't be crazy for you to go there. In fact, closer than Oxygen, basically. So it might be worth checking them out. I don't think it says nothing about no music, put it that way, but it is all men's gym. So maybe check them out. But
I have noise cancelling headphones in. But if you have a membership to this gym, bro, even from an angle, like, you know, it's like, what should we do
It's a place to chill.
on Thursday night? You actually go there and chill. You can actually just go.
It's like a spa
It's more like a spa.
with just like a side gym that takes up 3 floors by accident.
You know what? The only thing they're missing is like some paddle courts.
Yeah. You know what they should do? They should put paddle courts on the roof.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. If they got paddle courts and it was like with your membership, you get unlimited access.
That would be amazing.
Oh, sign me up.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing if I had like unlimited funding, I would build more places like that. Kind of what you just said, was like a place to not necessarily a gym, a place to chill, but you can get your stuff done for men only. So it's a place to chill first and foremost. So think Majlis style, think like sitting around as if you're at shisha, but there's no shisha and no music. So just chilling. That's the main thing. But there's also a massive co-working space. There's a massive gym. There's a barbershop who will not, you know, shave your beard and stuff like that. All the stuff that a man would need is all in that place. But when you just want to chill with your boys, you can also go and chill with your boys, get a coffee, chill, and it's no pressure to do anything.
You know, I had this idea of like a dream that I wanted to do like Freshly Grounded.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like as in, because you know this whole like connotation of Freshly Grounded and coffee and stuff like that. Like I imagined a big,
Pretty much what Oxygen is like a 3-story, that massive,
like a warehouse thing.
Yeah.
And it's a coffee shop. It's a workspace.
Yep.
I didn't think of gym, to be honest. That's like a whole more. That's like another effort.
But imagine unlimited funds now.
Yeah, you would have like a big warehouse.
Yeah.
And on top of that, because there is a few places here that does that. They've got like, for example, a Dubai Women's Club, things like that. It's just like women's only.
Women's stuff here is pretty good, but there's no men's place. Oxygen is that, but it's like not just gym. It'll be like a chill cafe as well, and this and that. That would be interesting.
Yeah, so it's cool, man. It's cool, man. And in general, like kind of going off of what we said last week as well on the podcast, is like, I don't know, for some reason I've been reflecting a lot on my deeds, and specifically going like, what deeds do I need to remove to improve?
Yeah. Wow.
Did you guys just hear what I just heard?
Put down a t-shirt, will you?
I said, what do you need to move to improve?
Wow. How did you think? Do you feel like
I don't know how I've made it. I don't know how I thought about that.
Okay.
I'm a poet.
You didn't know it.
Yeah. So that's what I thought about. What do I need to remove to improve? It's an art-wise situation. You know, what do you need to remove to improve? And there's a lot I need to remove to improve. So that's an example of something you do. A lot of us probably do. People listening to this probably do, like go to the gym or whatever, do this, that, and the other. Can I find an alternative? Can I remove to improve?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just remove to improve, basically. Yeah.
That's our new slogan.
Yeah.
No, I would love like a I'm now thinking like a ranch. Yeah. Forget a warehouse. Yeah. Smash that warehouse to pieces.
Yeah.
Mate.
You want a ranch?
Yeah?
What are you gonna go to next? A city?
Well, listen. Imagine, because it can be done. Because you know, remember those entrepreneurs in the US who like built, they bought a little village on a mountain.
I think I saw something like that.
It was Andrew Wilkinson and them guys on My First Million, or his friends did it, something like that.
They bought a ranch.
They bought
a mountaintop.
I think they bought an old ski resort that was like done out, but they then transformed it into like an entrepreneur's like getaway.
No way.
So it's like co-working is there, but you can do skiing obviously mainly, but it's like there's like, it's just built to like house entrepreneurs.
Oh my gosh, bro! What if we built that and then you can
That's what I'm saying.
sell it out to like groups of
That's what I do.
friends, and they just like book it out for a week, and it's like all exclusively theirs.
That's it. That's what I do. So you can hire your own like villa there or whatever, and just like the main town hall is now just like a massive co-working space and coffee shop and da. But it's like, it's known that only entrepreneurs come there to work. So it's kind of like networking is done, everything's done. So we can have a Muslim version of that.
Wow, and there's just always lectures going on and things like that.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like we've got like, again, obviously the masjid is like the main thing. And it's like we've also got the co-working, you've got the gym, everything's segregated. You've got football pitches, you've got this and that, again, all segregated. That would be amazing.
Would be amazing.
And there's 2 brothers currently. I won't put it on blast because I don't know, but they're building something. I say we, 2 different brothers, 2 different projects. They don't know each other. That I know, but I know of them. I don't know them personally. I know one of them personally. They're building buildings here in Dubai. In fact, 1, 2, 3 buildings between the 2 of them that will be Muslim first. I won't say Muslim friendly, Muslim first. They're building them to accommodate and facilitate and enable the Muslims. Right. So that means, when you're in the haram, there's the adhan is inside your room.
Yeah.
That will be there. Everything's segregated. There's like reminders on the walls, things like this, like just to remind you of like being a good neighbor, for example, in the corridors, things like that. And just like other stuff that just to enable and help Muslims, again, during Ramadan, there's going to be like dedicated catering for suhoor, iftar, I think things like that, to make everything easy for stay-at-home mums who look after their kids, everything, right? So that's happening. This thing is happening. Like, this isn't pie in the sky anymore. We've got brothers who are, Allahumma barak, in positions where they can put Muslims first when it comes to building entire buildings. Like, we're talking about building a building from scratch with this mindset. So these ideas are not crazy. They're not like pie in the sky. People are doing similar things. So why not you, Faisal?
Yeah. That was a good ending, bro.
But isn't that amazing though?
That is amazing, bro. That is a really good idea.
Yeah. So that you can choose like the adhan.
Do you feel sad that we never executed that retreat idea?
Yes and no. That would have been in my mind. It felt like it would have been easy to do, but I think it would be very difficult to do actually.
But maybe we can execute it now.
You think so? We could do it as an FG type thing.
Yeah, like freshly grounded retreat. Where it's like
Yeah.
all in kind of like Muslim brothers retreat. But then, is that very similar to what Imran's doing? Is Imran doing a Muslim retreat thing?
I'm
sure I've seen like the entrepreneur retreat thing that he's done.
He's done a few of them.
Yeah.
They do road trips as well.
Yeah, they do road trips. Yeah, I wouldn't do road trips because like me and driving don't really get along.
Yeah, and I mean, road trip as part of it could be cool, but like I don't think it's great for like actually like talking to each other, because you being in a different Ferrari 20 minutes.
What I
away.
wouldn't mind doing as a road trip thing though is if we hire this massive like
Bus.
Yeah, like a tour bus.
That would be
Where
actually
it's got
quite cool.
it's like got living rooms inside and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't mind
Now we're
doing a
talking.
road trip.
One of those everyone's got a desk,
Yeah.
so I can eat my food on it.
Yeah. That's the core.
Yeah,
That's the core reason. Yeah.
That'd be sick. And then we go like up the mountain, and it's like we're doing like a mountain thing.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. But no, the retreat thing, now you mention it, in terms of FG,
It makes sense. Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense, man.
Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do it in October. Ibrahim, make it happen.
Can you just quickly whip that up?
Let's do it.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Either of you?
Instead of Canada, we'll do the retreat.
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
not?
That sounds good though, right?
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
I think
I like the idea.
There's a lot of potential for something.
We could do one like here, and then if it works, then we could do one in different. We could do ones in different countries.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people, a lot of brothers who would be like audience of FG that would love an idea of something, like to connect with a lot of people, whether it's networking, whether it's just sharing ideas, sharing a day or a weekend away with brothers. I think a lot of people are wanting something like that, but maybe they just don't know the right opportunity, or someone who is, as practicing or have the moral boundaries that Freshly Grounded have. So there could be something there.
I agree.
I can see Faisal's thinking a lot right now.
Yeah,
it's
a good idea.
Yeah. It would need to be
Done
relatively
properly.
high ticket.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh
something to
yeah,
consider.
high ticket, of
Yeah.
course.
I mean, yeah. But
Ticket's got to be high.
yeah. But our original retreat idea was like entrepreneurial.
Yeah, this should be more like Muslim men.
Yeah.
And then there's like, you get, a student of knowledge who's doing like some classes from that angle, and then some people coming from like a business side, a psychology side and things like that. Yes, interesting. So this was off the top of about half an hour ago, me saying, do you want to know the update on my GMC talk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's get around to it.
So
You had the foundation set last time we spoke.
yeah, so I think then I went into the vis-a-vis thing. Okay. Let me find the doc.
Find it vis-a-vis your Google Docs app. Do you use Google Docs to write stuff out?
For my talks I use Google Docs for some reason. I think because I print them after I memorize, as you know, the words. Okay, so how much do I want to tell you? No one really listens to the pod. I might as well tell you the whole talk.
Don't give me word for word, but
Okay, so
give me the punchlines.
I like to start my talks with a story, as you know.
Yeah.
First TEDx talk, okay, I started with the story of the elevator system, brake system,
Oh yeah.
and how, what is that elevator brake system?
Otis. Is it Otis?
That's it,
Yeah.
About how Otis started the elevator brake system, and it's a really impressive story. The second TED talk I started with the story of the Toltec Bridge, which is a bridge that was built and then it got destroyed. The country got destroyed, but the bridge didn't. And the concept there was you can build the perfect, you can be beautiful, you can be strong, but if you're of no use to anybody, then what's the point? As that bridge was very strong. but nobody needed to cross it because the country got destroyed. So this one, I'll tell you the story. I've got a couple of stories. So if you remember, the talk is about essentially not taking the short-term gain, and then you basically miss out on the long-term gain, right? So in the world of Muslim content creating, it's, you know, you might do something that gets you a big deal right now financially, or it might get you views and likes, but in the long run, i.e. the ultimate long run, which is the akhirah, you're losing out. So I think like I wanted to start with non-Islamic examples to just start planting the seeds of the concept of short-term versus long-term. Then I transition into stories about the Muslim side of things. So I started with, I've got a story about Kodak cameras, who the story there is that they were doing film cameras, where you remember when you would take the negatives of the film and then you'd get them converted into pictures. That was their whole business model. And they actually invented the digital camera, but because the digital camera would have taken them out of business, they basically put it on the shelf for like a decade. And so while they invented the digital camera, because they were scared of the short-term loss of wealth, because the whole business model was built on the film camera, they didn't launch it. And then what happened is, inevitably, over time, the digital camera took over and made Kodak bankrupt in 2012. And so the idea there is, short-term versus long-term, essentially, right? Like, they missed out on the long-term benefit because it took a short-term, a bit of success.
Yeah.
And then I tell another story that's basically another, company in the dunya world. And then I basically go in and say, the examples that I've given are dunya examples, right? And those companies paid the price in the dunya, whether it was losing jobs, losing, millions of dollars, millions of customers. But we have a greater responsibility as Muslim creators, because our price would not be a dunya price. It will be a price in the akhirah, which is like much more serious. We're not just measured in views and engagement, but it's actually like, deeds and things like that. So when we're doing things that could be immoral, like for example, a trend or a dance that's like popular right now for like the views or the followers, what we're risking is our akhirah. And then that's one end. But the other end is if we're doing something that has the wrong intentions, then ultimately our accountability is to Allah. And then I kind of go in to say, the comforting reality is that Allah's system is perfectly aligned with authenticity and essentially with barakah. Like, you ultimately win anyway. And then I did actually, that thing I said last week about how humans can sniff out inauthenticity? I like the hate comment so much. I added it to this talk. I actually add that bit into my talk.
Okay.
As basically said, humans have an ability to sniff out like inauthentic content anyway. So that's another thing. And then I tell that Dixie chicken story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. So it's a lot of stories.
Yeah,
and then there's a framework. Then there's a framework at the end, which is like, okay, how do you then create content that's authentic, that's not immoral, that's not unethical, and still win?
Right.
And there's going to be a framework for that.
Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing what that framework is.
Yeah.
Okay.
As am I.
The thing you said about Kodak was very interesting because they were sitting on the knowledge to disrupt themselves, and then they chose not to disrupt themselves, and sort of it seemed like a win, but really they were stagnating, right?
Yeah.
And I think what you said earlier, which is like remove to improve, is actually what they should have done.
Trademark, by the way.
So
Remove to improve TM.
Yeah. So this concept of disrupting yourself, and we spoke about this last time or the time before we had a podcast, it was like everyone, we kind of feel like, or I feel like that I'm on, a level in the deen, and you feel comfortable, kind of like how Kodak were feeling comfortable with that, and we're sitting on knowledge on how to improve ourselves. We're sitting on how, I know I could do more sunnah prayer. I know I can.
What
take
a transition,
this
Kaya, Ismail. Wow,
Listen,
look at that.
I podcast.
Yeah.
But we don't, right? We choose not to disrupt. We have the knowledge to disrupt ourselves.
Oh yeah, that's so true.
And we're sort of waiting to be, we're hoping we don't get disrupted, but we know Shaitan is constantly trying to disrupt us. So I think it's important. I'm showing myself a lesson here, my self-advice, to disrupt ourselves and improve ourselves before we get disrupted.
That's the clip right there, Suleiman. That's the clip. Kodak story.
Yeah.
The transition into the Deen. The mic drop.
Alhamdulillah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's so true, bro. We don't disrupt ourselves, and it goes to what we were saying about like how then you end up getting paused on your level of spirituality for 25 years.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, why did that happen? Well, it's because you didn't disrupt yourself.
Yeah. And you knew how to as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know when you think about the first time you took that massive step towards the Deen, it was because you disrupted yourself.
Yes, exactly
right?
that. 100%. You could have chosen just, but you know what?
Yeah.
I know, but let me just, and that's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Very dangerous, man.
Yeah.
I just recently, I recently came across something that I didn't put two together before.
Okay.
Which is, if you want to be someone who prays Qiyam al-Layl every night, right? Just pray witr, and witr can be 1 rakah. Right, so you can just pray one rakah every night and be among those who pray Qiyam al-Layl every night. For some reason in my head, I didn't connect the fact that witr is Qiyam al-Layl.
Bro, should I tell you something?
And it's like, that's such an easy way to just like level up.
You know, on that point, yeah. When we were raised, I don't know if this is all Pakistani families or if it's, I don't know how it works, but we were raised in a way where when we got told what the salah is, we were told that like by like our grandparents and stuff, that like dhuhr is not 4 rakat fard. Yeah.
Right.
We were taught that dhuhr is 4 rakat sunnah, 4 rakat fard, 2 rakat sunnah, and then 2 nawafil as well. Yeah. That's what we were taught was dhuhr.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Now, admittedly, it's wrong. I mean, that is. I mean, 4 sunnah, 4 fard, 2 sunnah. That is dhuhr, right? But as in, we were taught as if, arguably, I guess I never heard the words, but essentially we were taught that was like the fard salah, basically. Yeah. As in, you pray with intention of sunnah, but we weren't necessarily taught that the sunnah salah meant that it was, I suppose, optional, right? Now, obviously, that's more good than bad. Because you're doing the whole salah. But I suppose the bad side of it is that you're thinking it's something that is not, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And also, I guess you could put people off the salah because it's like, to pray dhuhr is this huge mountain of a task. You got to pray 4 rakat, 4 rakat, 2 rakat. And it's like sometimes you're in not in a rush or but busy or whatever, and you could have just prayed 4 rakat fard, right? Anyway. The point is that we were taught, being raised, that is dhuhr. That asr is 4 rakat. That maghrib is 3 rakat, 2 rakat sunnah, and then 2 nafil, and then we were taught that isha was 4 rakat. Isha was 4 rakat, 2 rakat, and then 3 rakat witr. Yeah, and that actually most of the time for isha you should actually pray. Another sunnah. I can't remember now what we were taught now. I'm still coming back to me. The main point I'm making is that's what we were raised on, right? So that's what my salah was. Like for me, when I was praying fajr, like throughout my life when I was praying, from childhood, it was, if I was praying fajr, that meant 2 sunnah, 2 fards. When I was praying dhuhr, it's 4, 4, 2. In fact, 4, 4, 2, 2. When I was praying asr, it's 4, and so on and so forth. Then I had this awakening, and I, started for lack of a better term, what you would say, like you start practicing the religion. I was 20 years old at the time, so I started hanging around practicing Muslims. And one thing that really surprised me when I was hanging around with practicing Muslims, or like proper, like knowledgeable Muslims. And sometimes we'd be out, yeah, and the time for dhuhr would come in, and they would just pray 4 rakat fard. I'm like, what? Like, I thought these men were practicing. Like, how come they're missing like most of dhuhr? And then sometimes we'll be out late and we're praying isha and they're praying 4 rakat isha. I'm like, what? Like, I'm not even used to this, bro. And so one thing I'm grateful for my grandparents is that they taught us, like, they got it built in us from early that that's the norm. Yeah. So then, like, for me, I felt really let down by practicing Muslims, but at the time, because I was like, when I wasn't practicing, quote unquote, I was praying more. And but the bad side of it also is that I don't think it's a bad thing because like it's not fard upon you. So like Islam is made easy for you.
Yeah.
But I started loosening up a bit on my sunnah because I was like, I don't need to.
Yeah.
And then I found myself doing like going from three witr to sometimes praying one witr and stuff like that. But the concept of someone not praying witr to me is alien, bro. Because we were raised that witr is close to fard. So like the idea of like I remember like meeting practicing Muslims, bro, and they were like, bro, like this is not necessarily what you're saying because you're like giving an example. But like I remember meeting practicing Muslims who were literally like, bro, like I'm just gonna try and pray like one witr now after Isha. And I'm like, huh? Like big beard, like knowledgeable. And again, like I said, it was not a thing of me sitting on my high horse going, oh my God. It was just a thing of like I was shocked that was even a thing, which I'm grateful for. But however, the bad side of it is that I have slacked. I started practicing. I was going, now I understand the haqq, and it's not fard to pray for sunnah before dhuhr. But now, looking back at it as a grown man, I wish I always carried on praying my 4 rakat sunnah before dhuhr and things like that because I could just know the benefit of it now.
And I suppose they said to you it's sunnah and stuff. They didn't say it's all fard, but they presented it in a way.
They presented it in a way where it was fard.
Yeah.
But yeah, they said it was sunnah, yeah.
So, I get it. And I can see the benefit of that. But also it's like, overburdening as well. There's that. But
so I can see the benefit of both sides.
Yeah. And it sounds like they didn't lie. They said to you, this is sunnah and this is fard, and you don't know what that means. That's your problem, kind of thing.
That's kind of thing.
You know what I mean?
I definitely see the benefit of like Islam is easy, right?
Yeah.
And it's not meant to overburden you, 100%. And you're not meant to burden yourself to the point where. Yeah. Because the other tough thing is sometimes when it comes like in our like childhood and stuff, when it comes to Isha time, but you're thinking, man, it's Isha. Like all the billah, bro. You think like it's Isha time, man. I got a long salah in front of me, and because you're in your head, you think I've got to pray this, or dhuhr time, thinking this is, and when it's asr, you're a bit like, it's just 4 rakat. So that's like you kind of look at it. Shaitan makes you look at it as a burden.
So again, it's like it's about knowing what is fard upon you, but again, just trying to disrupt yourself as much as possible. I know I quote unquote only have to do 4 rakat for Isha, but I should disrupt myself and try and do the sunnah, try and do witr after. You know what I mean? Try your best to do that rather than sleeping the other way. It's like, let me just like become someone who only ever prays the fard salah. Yeah. So
then one brother who helped me get back on job with the sunnah prayers, this was years ago. He basically said to me that he was trying to pray more sunnah prayers. So he said the way he did it is the way he transitioned himself is he would pray his fard, and then he would pray his sunnah, but he would just pray the obligatory parts of the salah for his sunnah prayers. So like for your salah to be accepted, you just have to recite Fatiha, or you just have to say, like when you go to ruku, you only have to say things once, or in sujood and things like that. So he knew the fard, the pillars, the arkan of salah, and he would just pray those, and at least his body was getting a habit. It wasn't the best salah because he wasn't doing any of the sunnah acts of salah, but his body was getting used to praying, and then he would improve that. He would like recite a surah of Fatiha, or he'd say it 3 times, or he would like make sure that his Raful Yadayn is there for every. But at first he was like, let me just get the habit. I thought that's quite a good method of getting yourself back on the sunnah prayers. And even like there's levels, right? Because there's praying your sunnah, but then there's praying your sunnah at home, which is better than praying your sunnah, right? So it's like, okay, but sometimes even a shaitan will come to me, and he'll be like, I'll pray Maghrib in the masjid, 3 rakat. Then the shaitan will be like, don't pray your sunnah because it's better to pray your sunnah at home. So then I go home, actually, then you're distracted. So then what I said to myself, no, I'm not listening to that. Like, I'm praying my sunnah in the masjid because I'm already in the masjid, pray my sunnah. At least I prayed the sunnah. Praying the sunnah is better than not praying the sunnah.
Exactly.
Obviously, it's better to pray the sunnah at home even. But let me...
But circumstances, you got to use the wisdom a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, so Shaitan's on it, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Shaitan is on it.
So I'm saying, he's trying to disrupt us all this time. So you need to disrupt yourself the other way, man. Yeah, alhamdulillah, man. Islam is easy. May Allah increase us in khair.
We're ending the podcast on the same way we started it. How amazing is that? Balance. We're saying, look at that. We're saying Islam is easy. You just have to pray, do your fard act.
Yeah.
However, the other side of the balance is you should always try and do the most.
Alhamdulillah, man. What a pod.
Akhi, pod completed.
Done.
Thanks, guys, for listening to this episode. Look, sorry because I've been a bit ill. I've got a sandy throat. And I appreciate Kaya if you
desert throat. Desert throat.
Yeah. And thanks, guys. We'll see you inshallah next week. Maybe, hopefully, definitely. But I'm traveling a lot next week. And then you're traveling next week as well.
Correct.
But what we're going to do is we're going to try and fit in a pod.
Inshallah.
Hopefully on Thursday, guys. So inshallah on like Thursday or Friday, you should see an episode come out. And with that being said, thank you so much. Thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you, Sulaiman.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see you all inshallah soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.